I feel like V5 could end up just first picking AD carry here. You know, they could pick the Zeri. If Zeri's banned, they pick the Senna.
Yeah, I think they've got a plenty of Gangplank as well. I mean, straight up, you do not have any choice now in this Anyone's Legend. You cannot go back to it. I do agree with the Gangplank and the Swain. Like you said, the Amumu is a bit of an interesting one there. But PP God going to go over to the Renata. Very good anti-dive composition. Very good. Honestly, would have been great into what Anyone's Legend had in the last game. But we did just see Chocho talking about why the Senna Seraphine combination is so powerful and why they prioritize it so much. So now that you know the Renata is there, this might be a little bit of an angle for it.
No, don't. No.
No, I wanted Seraphine. I even said it.
Yeah, I feel like you probably could have left support pick till 3. But clearly, maybe expecting it's going to be Renata Calista. They were like, okay, we'll pick the Tom just to make sure we have that. I don't know. I feel like you could have gone for jungle there and picked up something like the Viego. But I guess wanting to leave that third pick to react to what V5 take. V5 go for the Gnar in the top lane. ZDZ responds with the Kale. That matchup we've seen a few times so far in the LPL, looking to outscale. And that's going to be the thing, right? In the late stage of the game, Senna Kale scale exceptionally well. Senna will outrange the Calista quite considerably with enough souls. And obviously Kale, we've talked endlessly about his scaling. Now, both teams are kind of matched. We've seen top lane and bot lane picked. So AL in a comfortable position, as obviously they get first choice coming out the next fan phase. They're going to pick up the, ban away the Ahri. I feel like they might just grab a jungler on this 4 pick and then leave Forge to have a potential counter pick. Unless something is left open that really stands out. Some mid laner that you really want to lock down. Are you muted?
I was muted again. Having to cough is a bit of a nuisance when you're working on your own home console. But as I was just saying, I was just about to say that LeBlanc is a good ban here. Maybe you see the Lissandra banned away by V5. Things that can kind of have safety while also doing very decent, DPS. Forge as well is someone who would never shy away from a slightly more fringe pick. And we'll see what they want to end up going for. For V5, the Viego's still up and available. They actually banned away the Xin Zhao, so they're kind of just saying to Xiaohao, take the Viego. We don't care.
Yeah, it does seem kind of set up, but there is still that Lee Sin open and available. But it looks like AL might end up just committing to the Silas and want to prioritize that. I said if there's a mid laner that stands out, maybe they take it. Some decent choice for ults, and I could talk more about that. And actually, Dream picking up the Akali. So this is a matchup we've seen historically quite a bit, but not too much recently. Obviously, a lot of skill expression in the 1v1, a lot of dashing. Forge can steal away the Akali ult himself, but we will see Casa take the Lee Sin. Probably just a Viego could make sense here for the side of AL. It looks like that might be what comes in, or could go in a different direction. I would be against the Nocturne, in all honesty.
I was gonna say the Nocturne gives you great dive potential. It works fantastically with something like the Silas, but we won't talk about it in length until it is all locked and loaded. But the Anyone's Legend, they've got options. Xiaohao has been playing so many different things. It is very good to see him kind of like flexing his champion pool muscles. And he's going to go back to a tried and true favorite. I think the Viego is still exceptionally powerful. And with the kind of, Lee Sin combination, even things like the Akali, the sticking power he has, if he gets a reset, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic being able to go into champions that have a dash, right? Going into Lee Sin, going into Akali, being able to dash, reposition, then ult again. Very powerful. The thing is as well, like the Silas into Akali matchup, Silas is going to have pressure really because Akali just isn't that good in the early levels. Q costs so much energy, so you're not able to spam it on the wave. So Forge will be able to push in, join with skirmishes. I like AL's comp, and also Forge has some fantastic choice of ultimates.
Yeah.
Gnar ultimate is one of the best in the game for Silas to steal, because one of the big things with Gnar is that you are gated by the fact that you have to be mega. Silas does not suffer that same restriction. He can just Gnar ult anytime. And also, Gnar's ult actually has an AP ratio. It's 100%.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. You actually will slam people into the wall and chunk them. So it's a fantastic ult for him to steal. Akali ult is solid. Lee Sin ult is solid. Renata ult is a little bit unwieldy to use for a Silas, but still good, right? If you can find a big opportunity. So I think there's tons of good ult choices for Forge. Really like this pick for him. You're going to have pressure mid. Xiaohao on the Viego and Lee Sin. We've seen this matchup countless times. Either one can really take it, but ultimately I'm kind of hyped for AL's composition. They're going to outscale. They're going to have pressure mid early. What else do they need?
Well, we'll see what they're able to need and what they're able to get as we jump onto the Rift for Game 2 of this best of 3. Anyone's Legend finding themselves in possibly an unfamiliar territory. 1-0 up against the 5-0 V5. Anyone's Legend have been continuously improving, continuously getting themselves into fantastic situations. And now they got themselves in a moment where they might be able to get a 2-0, which is like, even on its own, taking this series on its is one thing. Taking a 2-0 would be absurd.
Yeah, it'd be sick. I'm gonna be real. I love when we start getting teams looking for upsets in the LPL. So many teams in this league, so many games played, but we often see teams strike upwards. And now V5 are going for a potential early invade just to get a ward down, so won't go anything more in that. We see the response on the other side from AL. They don't ward, but V5 don't know that, right? They have no idea whether or not they warded the red. So I'm not sure if PP God has sweeper or not. He does. Thought maybe he might actually go and sweep the area, but maybe suspect that they could have just like faked the ward. Or maybe thinks the ward isn't actually that big of a deal regardless.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thing of like what not only does the enemy know, but what do they think they know? That's kind of what you have to play the mind game, especially at the level 1 part here. But V5 gonna find themselves just trying to maybe get a little bit of a late one here.
Don't walk up.
He should be fine if he flashes away, and he is.
Yeah, I mean, the level 1 of Calista Renata is so scary. The passive from Renata, the fact that you get the extra damage with the autos, the handshake, being able to pull someone in and let Photic stack the Ren stack. So very threatening. And honestly, this is the rough point for Center Tom, because Tom doesn't offer that much safety to the center. And he's the one who has to walk up and try and CS. So Jojo gonna have to farm with his Q, which is quite mana intensive. There's obviously a lot of sustain on AL, but they're so cautious about a potential all-in.
I mean, you have to be right now. Betty without his flash. You could maybe be a little bit more aggressive if you had your summoners there to maybe kind of go, we can go for a full engage. But without that available to you, it's going to become very difficult. Forge, sadly, being blocked by a minion there. So does not get a good trade back onto Dream. And Rich getting the pressure into ZDZ on this Kale. So we see now the compositions. We talked about how that bot lane now going to go in favor of V5. Where do you want to see these junglers go? Is it going to be kind of a wait till 6 and find out? Or are we expecting some early shenanigans like we saw in Game 1?
I don't think you necessarily need early shenanigans. I don't think any lane is particularly easy to gank because it's very scary ganking Calista Renata so can cut away. Mid lane, I mean, they're going to go for it, but Dream, he's in a Kali, not the easiest target.
Oh, I feel like if that chain lands, they maybe go for something. But Xiaohao, not to be deterred just yet, hasn't picked up his blue. Maybe looking to try and wait for the next, like, you know, shuriken flip or 5-point strike. Oh, there they go. They're going to look for it. Oh, Dream doesn't quite get caught out there, but they're going to keep continuing onto it. Forge has to flash away, but Karsa's there in tone. Xiaohao, though, he's going to have a 1v2 situation where he is much healthier. Has not got the vision onto Dream, and now needs to be very careful. Might be forced to try and just walk away from this one here. Ooh, the shuriken flip does not quite land. TP comes back in. So this time around, it's V5 who end up getting themselves the first blood.
Yeah, that's why you don't go for that play, because you don't have vision of Karsa, and also it's hard to pin down Dream. Even with connecting the stun from Forge, so much mobility available to the Akali, you end up investing so much resources to try and take it down, and then you just end up overextended and vulnerable. So I feel like that play was a bit unnecessary. They went for it anyway, and Forge, there's a tower there.
Careful. Careful. You gotta just be careful. He's strong. He's feeling like he was in game number 1. Sadly, this is game number 2, and Karsa was just in the right place at the right time. He kind of sensed something was happening and kind of moved back towards mid.
Yeah, so, I mean, the chains actually doesn't connect to the stun from Xiaohao, but they just aren't able to finish him. Dream flashes away, and then because of the extra, the Akali getting the extra movement speed, able to move back. They know they can't follow with a flash. We see Forge flash and Karsa insta-follow. So, an advantage found for V5, definitely solid, considering the early game was quite rough in that previous one.
Quite rough indeed. And now V5 have a little bit of an advantage now. And again, they will have the pressure in most of the lanes as they kind of push forward. But Anyone's Legend, this is kind of what we expected. They're not exactly unfamiliar with this territory. They know what to expect. They know where they need to be and how they need to play it. Right now, though, they're going to get aggressed upon. Betty still does not have flash, remember, so the Ren coming out will slow him out just a little bit. Chocho flashes away and gets just out of the range of the Sonic Wave. So V5, this is what we expected to see from them in the first game, finally coming to life in the second. Yeah, doing a good job of punishing. One thing to note is that it is quite hard for them to punish Chocho because they only have one way of stopping his W, which is PP God's handshake. If that's on cooldown, he can just channel his W and get away.
But Flash ends up getting burnt there. And look at the farm discrepancy. I know the expectation is like Tom isn't going to have as much farm as like typical AD carry. He is going to get zoned off some more CS because he is melee. This is a significant disadvantage. It's going to be a plate picked up by V5 as well. And they are just putting the pain down.
Yeah, again, you pick something like a Tahm Kench Senna. It is a passive lane until level 6, really, when you don't really have kill pressure, and they are being punished for it. V5 now, with having access to the perfect execution on Dream, might look to make something happen in this mid lane. Karsa sitting on some decent pink ward vision, recognizes he's not going to get caught out. Xiaohao this time around says he's been caught out, but ZDZ now level 6 means that he's going to be feeling a little bit better in this top side.
Yeah, I think he just wants to crush in here, so Xiaohao's going to help him out with that. Karsa's in the vicinity, so you have to be cautious because Rich has Mega. We'll see if Rich goes for it.
Oh, he is going to go for it. They're going to land the stun down. Remember, there is no flash for Xiaohao, but they get the ultimate out of ZDZ. So again, this is just kind of nice trade patterns for V5, and Karsa is being incredibly active so far.
Yeah, it's what we've typically expected from him. It's what we've seen from him in last split. Karsa was a big reason why V5 was so successful, playing for Rookie, getting him ahead, and then Rookie just taking over. But so far, he's kept pretty good tabs on Xiaohao, been able to match him on these plays. Xiaohao's trying to clear the Raptors up here to get level 6, but it's going to be forced away, I would feel.
Yeah, I don't think he can contest this, and that's just going to be more advantages going over to the side of V5, and there's not really a lot you can do here as anyone's legend. You're very reliant on your ultimates. You're very reliant on that first item as well. It's just hard, really. That's just the only way I can put it. It's just hard for them to try and get a foothold.
Yeah, it's difficult, and I feel like, you know, as much as there's a lot of scaling elements for AL, opting out of the early game completely is going to be a hard time, and V5 are just being the ones to set the pace, being the ones to make those moves. It is Herald in 40 seconds, so we'll see if V5 opt to try and prioritize that one early. They have Prio in the top lane, and PB God's been quite active and moving around the map. But I think in the meantime, AL is going to go for this dragon on the bot side. So heavy penalty top. ZDZ can't even walk up to the tower, but at least securing that first dragon for AL does give them more time to scale and potentially delays a soul from V5.
Good early dragon here for AL, but like you said, a heavy price to pay. You do have to lose quite a lot of experience and gold here on the bot side as Xiaohao find himself looking at a pink ward, so has to back himself away. No longer called a pink ward, it's now just a vision ward because green wards don't exist. Shows you how old I am, how long I've been playing this game. When did you start playing this game, actually? I'm curious.
It was end of season 3.
End of season 3. So I've been playing longer than you. That's absurd.
And yet you're still hard stuck.
I was gonna say I'm still hard stuck for so long. Look at that little gremlin laugh on you. God damn. But yeah. Well, I was. Do you remember what champion was the login champion when you first joined?
Nope.
Mine was Syndra. So I was like the newest champion when I joined into the game. So
I think that it's so weird. I think back to the champions that, like, to me in my mind, for some reason, Braum still feels new because see the play come in.
Well, this ain't nothing new as Forge goes in a little bit too aggressive and Dream gets himself killed off. So or gets himself a kill. So Forge, he's not on sway in this game, and I think he's feeling a little bit too much of himself. He needs to try and back up and reassess the situation. Yeah,
I mean, just don't opt in for those plays. Karsa's been doing a fantastic job of being present wherever he needs to be. Finds the kill to assist Dream there. And now we'll head over and pick up the Herald. I could see in the replay, you know, Forge keeps just trading heavily with Dream, thinks he's found an advantage, and he's the one who actually looks for this all in. Like, he didn't need to be making this play.
No, there was no real need. He had Xiaohao on a reset. There wasn't really any support from there, and that's just an easy kill. So 2 kills now to Anyone's Legend, or excuse me, to V5 over Anyone's Legend. And they're going to take themselves the Rift Herald as well. So a bit of a change in pace right now. We can start to see V5 kind of... We talked about how they know how to use an early lead. They know how to make the most out of the golden advantages they have. And they're starting to pick them up nicely.
Yep. But we do see AL at least turning around the pressure in this bot lane. Post level 6, harder to pressure Betty. And he's feeling more confident to look for some of these trades. So they will actually get, I think, 2 plates here.
Wow, it's huge. And
I remember a big thing to note with Senna is you're typically starved of gold because enemy team, you know, you're getting souls instead. You're not getting as much gold because you're not the one farming. So getting plates is like increasingly relevant for you to make up for that. You know,
Keep going, Ark. Nothing happens.
It's short cooldown.
going.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's a zoning ult.
Yeah, it was a wave clearing ultimate. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I completely agree. I think that Betty, once he gets up to that Umbral Glaive, you can start to see him pick up a lot more. And this is a nice movement here from V5 to say, look, we know how much pressure we have in this mid lane. We can continue to pull pressure down. They'll get the tower. That's huge this early on in the game.
Yeah, mid tier 1, so big to take because it really opens up the map, allows you to deep push mid, rotate over through the enemy jungle, get some vision down. It's normally such a hard task to take down a mid lane tier 1, especially when you have a Kali in the mid lane. Somebody who's not exactly the best at like fighting prio and contesting the tower. But because Forge has gone down twice, because they got some damage on the tower and have the Herald, Carson finds a great window. And right now it's a 3,000 gold lead to V5 out of seemingly nothing. They've really managed to pull ahead in this one.
They really, really have. And honestly, you feel like unless anyone's legend can get this dragon in a minute and a half time, they're going to be in a bit of a rut because you don't have a great win condition from there. I will say the Umbral Glaive has been finished up, as has the Frostfire Gauntlet. So they have a little bit of a spike on the bot side in terms of survivability and just kind of control of an area. Rich going to get up into his Mega Gnar and wait to see if ZDT does take the bait. But ZDT's happy to keep farming this up. He's got a Cull working up towards that Wit's End, and he's going to be fine to kind of continue with this trend.
Yeah, I think AL, if the game slows down, they're going to be comfortable, but this is a big lead for V5 to have. Now, Dragon spawning at 50. If V5 get their hands on that, pretty significant. They obviously would like to be they would like to start stacking dragons up as quickly as possible, try and lean into that soul and put pressure on that as a win con.
There's a teleport for Forge in about 2 minutes to go to a ward. I was a little early on that timing, but yeah, it looks like with the pressure mid, again, why the mid lane tier 1 is so important. You just don't get to follow up and be as present, shall we say, as the rest of the enemy teams. So you're just getting pushed back so hard, and now Forge gonna take a reset. Actually, never mind. He baits me in. Kind of just wants to push out one more wave, but 10 seconds till that dragon spawns. You're not really in a great position as you can look at all the vision on the mini-map there on the bot side of the map. V5 know everything that's going to happen through that jungle, so I just think anyone's legend has got to let this one go.
Yeah, I think you just have to give it up. You not really in a position to contest, especially, as I said, look mid, right? Dream pushes the wave in deep. Forge doesn't have to reset right now. And it just means it's so hard to contest these objectives early on. You can see the vision out from V5 on the bot side of the map. So many wards put down in the enemy jungle. This is the problem, is that when V5 get ahead, it's very difficult to come back into the game. Which is why I thought this would be a hard matchup for AL.
They're going to look for him. Rich does flash away. On the weak side, Rich got a little bit too comfortable. Xiaohao does punish him very respectfully, but now that they know that Xiaohao is in the top side, they may look to try and punish in the bot lane. That's going to be a nice route onto 2. The cleanse has to be burnt immediately. PP got down below half, and you still got to respect the Senatam Kench. This is why a lot of bot lanes feel that this bot lane combination is so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, the root connects, cleanse had to be used, and just the long-range harass. You know, Betty will be really powerful in the late stage of the game. But for the time being, it just feels like, as I was saying, V5, once they get ahead, they're so good at continuing that momentum. And now, Xiaohao's making a play, but Dream's there. You have to get out.
Yeah, I think Dream... Honestly, I think Dream was looking for the play, and Xiaohao just happened to be in the right place at the right time to kind of cover off ZDD. So, a little bit of good fortune there for the top laner of anyone's legend, as he is still stacking up. Only 7 minions away from stacking up that Cull. He's basically gone uncontested in this top side, and that is the perfect term that you want to hear if you're a Kayle.
But is it going to be enough? V5, the lead at the moment is substantial. They need to continue this momentum and just not give room, not give opportunity for AL to scale. I think particularly like the time at which a Kalista spikes is normally when a Senna suffers, especially fasting Senna, because you're going to be down in levels, because you're going to be down in experience, as you're not solo farming. And so that's fine because you lean into the later stage of the game where your massive soul count makes up for it. But in the mid game, I've seen games where it's like a 2-3 level lead for the enemy AD carry in the mid game, and Kalista will just demolish you at that point.
Oh, nicely done there by Rich. Gets out the ultimate from ZDZ, and there's the Cull finally finished up. No level 11 for ZDZ just yet, but now without an ultimate, he's going to be forced, I imagine, to flash pretty damn soon. He gets ignited, does not get hand shook. They flash in to try and get the Rens down, and they will pick him up. Now Xiaohao, who was trying to make something work here. Oh, Karsa gets caught out. The hostile takeover is used to bail him out. But that was a little bit too close for comfort for V5. They do get their man, but they got to make sure they're doing it properly.
Yeah, very aggressive there. It's a nice ult from Xiaohao, so he doesn't get insect, but at the end of the day, V5 still got what they want. They got the kill. They get this tower. They are just really moving effectively around the map to try and establish as much control as possible.
Now they get the turret. They're able to kind of set themselves up for the Rift Herald as well. While that's been happening, though, Dream on the bot side. No TB to join his teammates in the top lane, but he's probably going to be able to take down this tier 1 as well. So it's going to be all 3 outers down. A 5,000 gold lead, a Rift Herald in pocket. This is V5 stacking the objectives, stacking the advantages. And that's exactly what we said they're very good at. They know how to play from ahead, and that's exactly what they are.
Yeah, we'll see. Looks like they might try and catch that Dream, but I just don't think it's realistic. Dream actually did a great job when he didn't have vision of Betty or Chocho when that top play was going. He backed off just to like make sure he wasn't going to get collapsed on. Waited until he spotted out the enemy bot lane and then pushed forwards and was able to pick up that tower. So good play all around, not giving windows. And I think that is the main thing when you're playing against AL. There will come a point in this game where AL are going to try and find a team fight. And that is often how they bring their way back into the game. So limiting the opportunities, limiting the windows for them to do so is very, very important.
Now we got to wait to see how V5 want to take these advantages. Again, they've got the Rift Herald in pocket. All of the quote-unquote easy turrets are dead. They are no longer available for you to take. So where you drop this Rift Herald might be just used for pressure. But again, like I said, without a tier 1 to really defend, AL could just be like, cool, drop it in mid, drop it in bot. It's not going to hit a tower for a while, so we don't really care that much. And minute 10 till Dragon spawns. That's probably going to be the next biggest port of focus here for V5. They haven't taken out all these wards, though, and this could be good TP opportunities here for Forge.
Yeah, and I want to see... I feel like AL just don't try to fight the dragon. You got that early one that makes a big difference. Sack that one. Maybe look to fight the next dragon that comes along, or maybe leave it even longer. Is actually ZDZ going for the Gale Force. So we've seen AD Kale, but it's mostly been Kraken. Going for that extra mobility, that dash and burst damage. Not sure how I feel about it, but ultimately we are going to see the Herald going down bot. I think they should be able to stop the tower going down for now, but a big amount of damage done. A TP flank actually coming in. This is Forge. They're looking for an angle.
This is Forge. There's flashes coming in. They're looking for an angle. They do land it. The Everfrost is good on the Dream, but he goes straight into the Shroud. They do land the root onto Karsa, and Karsa is dead. The rest of anyone's Legend are now pushing forward. There's the hostile takeover, but it's not enough to stop PP Guard from falling down. That's going to be 2 kills. That's going to be a Dragon. They will lose about a turret in the top side, but honestly, this is great from anyone's Legend.
Yeah, objective bounties as well. So if they get this and then the dragon, a lot of gold going towards them. And Ashid, I said it earlier, right? You're waiting for that moment. AL are not a team to roll over and die. They will absolutely look for a window. And that was their window. Now, I'm going to say they lose a lot on the rest of the map. They lost that top tier 1, tier 2, sorry.
TP.
And the mid tier 2 is low, but looks like a TP coming in.
Rich is going to be midi.
Yeah.
He can't really go for this. It was more just to kind of keep everyone away, but it does mean that
I don't think AL can do this.
Yeah, I was going to say, it means they actually have to completely back away from this. So yes, they get a bit of gold, but it only brings the gold back up to about 4,500 rather than 5,000, and they still lose the dragon. So it's a little unfortunate on their part.
It's fine, though. The dragon wasn't the big thing. I don't think it's too important, honestly. I think the fact that getting gold back in the pocket and keeping things a bit even is more vital. Also burning summoners, which is important. Like, the more summoners that you burn, the easier it is to fight later. What we often see teams do is they just don't fight at all, and then they'll go for like a big dragon fight for soul, and the enemy team will have every single summoner in the game, and then they'll just flash your engaged and they'll win. So I like the fact that they're at least testing V5. They're making their burn summoners. They're getting some gold in return. Yes, it's still V5 very much in control, and they've been able to secure that second dragon. But you can see AL are still a team who will fish for those opportunities, fish for those windows.
Yeah, it's very good for them to kind of go for it. Yes, that top lane is now an exceptionally long one, but like you mentioned, ZDZ going for a little bit more of a crit build. Forge pushing back the wave is going to see Dream there, who now has a Morello Nomicon, so has a little bit of extra healing cut available in his kit. This is the interesting one. I obviously have the discussion between the AD and the AP Kale. I will say, in favor of the AD Kale, when you get to level 11 and obviously level 16 and beyond, your auto attack and your wave actually have 2 very different crit setups. So you can not crit on the auto attack, but then crit on the wave. It's a very interesting kind of setup, the way it kind of works. So, you know, could get lucky. It's a little bit more luck-based, and this one was no luck-based.
That does not look lucky, yeah.
That does not look lucky at all.
Ult not used, Gale Force not used. Less than optimal, we'll see.
Less than optimal. And that, yeah, that was just Rich kind of running down ZDZ. I think ZDZ was just very unaware that he was going to get taken down so low so quickly.
And now V5 look to see if they can pressure this mid tier 2. We'll see the V5 in the bottom right. I think it's just like the damage available is so big. And they're going to lose this mid tier 2. Not much they can do to defend that. Bot tier 2's gone as well. Gold leads expanding. 6,500, pretty significant. And AL just need time, but they have 8 minutes until Soul, assuming V5 get this next dragon.
Ooh, that was very close to going down. They're going to use the ultimate there from the Kalista to try and jump on the Chocho. The Heartbreaker comes in. They even drag him back and they go in, but Xiaohao stays alive just about with the KL ultimate, but not for long. And no, Photic will eventually fall down, so it's a 1-for-2 trade. Forge perfectly executes himself on the backside of this one. Chocho was 1v1-ing Karsa. You can't devour yourself, buddy, and that's going to be another kill. That is 3 kills to 1. Make it 4. You know what, Forge? We might even make it 5. He is going to finally back himself away as there was no minion wave. PP God almost falls down, but this is looking a lot more like V5.
Yeah, you can see the goal difference really paying dividends there, finding the huge burst damage from Photic just rends and takes 2 people out. And yeah, AL fishing for a window, but overcommit. It's like the stun misses. Why are you still going? Summoner's burn to try and get away. And it's actually a great KO coming out from ZDZ. Somehow, Xiaohao just surviving. But then look, Ren stacks up 2 kills from Photic. ZDZ has to flash to stop Photic getting the reset. And Forge gets a nice shutdown, but yeah, it's just V5 in control. And once again, proving that if they get a lead, they look to really solidify it and control the game from there.
Yeah, I think Karsa having a fantastic time of it as well. Just really looking proficient on this Lee Sin. It's always a pick we forget about, but it's something that has to be respected by any top-tier jungler, as already Betty and Forge. They need to run away. They need to try and make this one, but now Karsa's a little bit isolated. He goes golden to buy time. Xiaohao is now here. It's a little bit of a 3v3. The stolen Lee Sin kick is going to be there. Dream is getting some decent time and an execution as well. Now ZDZ joins in the fight, but he doesn't have ultimate just yet. Forge is now dead. It's a 5v3. Chocho gets devoured down, but I don't think it's going to really give you much else except for a little bit more time. He flashes away. He's going to try and get his Destinate Dive to get him out. He will eventually go away, but that is 3 kills to none, and I just don't think anyone's Legend got it in the tank right now.
Yep, and at this point, V5 could just head straight over towards that Baron. So strong right now for V5, and AL just struggling in these fights. Like, Chocho tried to gobble Forge, and he just died. He just got bursted in front of his eyes before he even could. The damage coming out of V5 is pretty insane. Xiaohao, Planet Fish to get this dragon, potentially, but Vich is there. Nah, dude, just get out. Get out.
Yeah, you can't do this right now, Xiaohao. He's going to try. Lord knows he's going to try, but now they're going to fully commit to it. But Rich is going to flash away and keep kiting back. Forge is here, but maybe they're trying to see if we can kill off Rich. This could be big. He actually misses the hop, and he gets narred into the wall. This is an opportunity for AL. They could maybe secure themselves a dragon, but it's going to be close.
I don't think they can. I think even 4v5, V5 win. I think they might have to back away. They're going to try it. I'm not optimistic, but, you know, maybe this is the highest percentage play. Let's see what they can do.
You have to try. You have to try. God loves a trier. Dream goes in immediately into Shroud. That's going to be down now for a couple of seconds before this fight can really kick off. Look at Photic over the backside of this. He's going to try and use the Blast Cone to get himself into this fight, maybe secure it with a bit of a rend. They're going to land a Sonic Wave. They're going to go in. They're going to try and secure it. It is given over to the side of V5, and now the fight can begin. There's going to be the ultimate coming out there from ZDZ to try and keep himself alive and ticking. The hostile takeover doesn't really hit a lot, but it doesn't need to. That being said, though, this Kalista is just burning through these health bars. Nice little lick from Chocho to make sure he gets the kill, but that's a triple kill for Photic. Honestly, anyone's Legend, I respect that you tried.
Yeah, maybe that was the highest percentage play. You can see Betty started to walk away thinking the fight wouldn't happen. And now V5 trying to push through the bot lane. Limited wave, though, available. So I don't think they can actually end. They'll just get some damage done to the structures.
Get some damage done. I think they'll take this tower for sure and probably take 2 inhibitors. They have got a minion wave coming in mid lane, though. So maybe they decide to go for it, or maybe they just leave the base in tatters. They don't have a TP on Dream, so he will not be rejoining his team. And that's just 2 inhibitors down at the exact same time. That is honestly perfect timing if you want to play as V5, because now you can play around it so well.
Yeah. There is something I want to talk about just when we have this point where, you know, teams are resetting. We actually see the Chempunk Chainsword from Karsa and the Morellonomicon from the Akali. You know, I'll break down the play first. We can talk about that after. So I think in this fight, ultimately, the Dragon's secure, but that's not the big thing. It's the extended fight and how that goes. Dream does a great job of diving in. And then the Kale ult and the Tom ult save the backline of AL. But the subsequent fight, they're just really struggling to deal with Photic. And that's the reason Betty starts to move away. The fight is close, but Photic is just constantly plying the spears and cleaning up in this situation. Able to close that out. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, those items did get buffed on this patch. And they're like super gold efficient. So a lot of people might be like, why are they building 2 Grievous Wounds items? They buffed the stats on them because they nerfed Grievous Wounds. So now the Chempunk Chainsword, 125% gold efficient, fantastic bruiser stats. Morale is 110%. It gives 90 AP, 300 health. So even without the Grievous Wounds, which is still good here, right? Don't get me wrong. Just great stats on those items for such a cheap price.
Yeah, it is all about the gold efficiency right now. The bang for your buck, if you could. And now ZDZ is going to have to try and be the sole defender of the Nexus as these super minion waves are starting to pile in. But anyone's Legend are going to have to join them because they can't defend the top lane inhibitor either. So at 27 minutes or just another little bit under it, you can see V5 just feeling so comfortable, so confident to be able to try and push in their advantages and just keep AL pinned underneath their Nexus.
It's so hard now with the triple inhibs. Super Minion's going to start coming in, but Rich with Mega might fish for a window.
Might look for something. ZDZ already nearly half HP. Got some decent wave clear, but not exceptional right now. We are going to see the Mega Gnar ultimate used there onto Forge. He does go into stasis straight away. ZDZ's being backed away. They're going to jump onto Gnar, but it's a mini Gnar. You're not going to really be able to burst him down just yet because he's going to be able to hop away. That's the Nexus turret falling. Only one shall remain. Only one structure between V5 and a victory in this best of 3. And here we go. We're going to go in. Karsa finds the kick on the ZDZ. And now all of your stall tactics are dead. Yes, you will lose the Lee Sin, but look at Photic just doing so much work as this Kalista. Triple kill for the Kalista on Photic. And we see once again why V5 should be so feared.
Yeah, they get a lead and they just do not give any room. So good at closing out from a position of advantage. And kind of showing again how strong Kalista can be, right? I've heard so many talk from fans, especially in the LCK, about how they're tired of like T1 picking Kalista. Oh, don't pick this pick. We hate it. LPL has shown that they just know how to make it win.